Hello, welcome to this new stitch tutorial. This one's going to be a really pretty one. I'm calling it the window pane stitch because I think that's what it looks like. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in because this one's going to be a long one. All right, we're going to start with a slip knot. Let's go ahead and get that out of the way. Let me get closer here to the end of the yarn. Now we're going to do a multiple of 12 stitches plus 6. So I'm going to do 30. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. All right, so I have 24 here. That's my multiple of 12. So now I'm going to do 6 more. All right, perfect. So now I've got my 30 stitches cast on. So this is what we have so far, just a chain, just a long chain. All right, let's continue on. Our row 1, we're going to start by double crocheting in the 9th chain from the hook. Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So there's my 9th chain from the hook. I'm going to go ahead and double crochet in that. Now that I've got my double crochet in the 9th chain from the hook, I'm going to chain 2, 1, 2. Then I'm going to skip 2 chains, so 1, 2, and then I'm going to double crochet in each of the next 7 chains. So I've skipped my 2, now I'm going to start double crocheting. All right, I've got my 7 double crochets worked across those 7 chains. Now we're going to start our repeat. We're going to chain 2. We're going to skip 2 chains, 1, 2, and then we're going to double crochet in the next chain. We've got our double crochet placed in that next chain. So now what we're going to do is chain 2. We're going to skip 2, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 7. And that brings me to the end of my repeat, or my fabric here. Perfect. So let's see what we have so far. If you're working more stitches than me, then go ahead and keep working the repeat of chain 2, skip 2 chains, double crochet into the next chain, chain 2, skip 2 chains, and then double crochet in each of the next 7, all the way to the end of your fabric. So this is what we have so far. We can already see that we're starting to get our little window panes here, which is really cute. Let's go on to row 2. So I'm going to turn my work. I'm going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3, I'm going to skip this first double crochet, and then I'm going to double crochet in each of the next 6 double crochets. All right, so I have my 6 doubles worked. From here, I'm going to start the repeat. And to start the repeat, what we're going to do is we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip the next 2 stitches here, which is going to be our chain 2 space. Then we're going to double crochet in this next double. Then we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip the chain 2 space, and then we're going to double crochet in the next 7. Now here's a tricky thing here, right? So sometimes it can be hard to figure out where do I double crochet, because this looks really confusing in this little area. So what I like to do is just place my first one, and then I'll count. So I've got 1, I need 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, perfect. So I know that I'm going to have enough. Just make sure that your first stitch lines up with this bottom stitch down here, and you'll be good to go. Sometimes it can be easy to get confused about where that first stitch goes after a chain space. And that's going to be your repeat. So you're going to continue doing that until you work across the length of your fabric. So you're going to do your chain 2, double crochet in the double below, chain 2, skip those chain spaces, and then work 7 double crochet across. And then once you get to the end, you work your final 7 double crochet, and you'll have maybe something that looks like this at the end. So what you're going to do is you're going to chain 2, skip this 2 chain space, double crochet in the next double, chain 2, skip the chain 2 space here, which can be kind of confusing to see, but we see we've got 1 bump, 2 bumps, and then we're going to double crochet in the 6th chain of the turning chain. So it'd probably just be easier just to count backwards. So just you have your 2 here, so 1, 2, and then we're going to double crochet right here in the top. Perfect. Let's look at what we have so far. So we've got 1 window pane treatment worked already. So let's go on to row 3. We're going to turn our work, and we're going to chain 3, 1, 2, 3. We're going to skip this first double crochet here, and then we're going to do the following repeat. And this is going to be a repeat nested inside of a repeat, which is always fun, but this is the more advanced. We're starting to get more advanced as we move further into the stitch patterns. We're getting a little bit harder every time we do a new one. So this one we're going to have to pay particular attention to. So what we're going to do is 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space. So let's go 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space. And then we have a double crochet into this double crochet. So let's work that one. And now we're going to repeat that again. So then we've got 2 double crochet in the next chain 2 space. And then we're going to double crochet in the next double here. Perfect. So that's our first repeat that's nested inside of the repeat. So basically we just put 7 double crochets across here because we count this as our first double. So our turning chain is our first double. We've got 2 doubles inside the chain 2 space, a double inside the double crochet, 2 doubles inside of this chain space, and a double here. So now we're going to go on to the next portion of our repeat, which is going to be chain 2. We're going to skip 2 double crochets here, and then we're going to double crochet in the next one. So now we're working a new window pane. And that's the first portion of this repeat. So now we're going to do that again. We're going to chain 2. We're going to skip 2 chain spaces, or 2 double crochets here, and then work into our last double crochet here. So we're making another window pane section, but they're kind of sitting next to each other. So now we're going to do the whole repeat again. So now we're going to start over again and do 2 double crochets in the chain space. We're going to do a double crochet in this double crochet here. Then we're going to do 2 double crochets in the next chain 2 space. So we've got our 2 double crochets now placed in here. Then we're going to do 1 more double crochet on that edge. And then we're going to do 1 more. So we've got our last chain 2 space here, so we need to finish off our fabric, right? So now what we're going to do is chain 2. This is at the end, chain 2, and then we're going to do our skip 2 double crochets, double crochet into the next, and then we're going to chain 2, skip 2, and then we're going to double crochet into this turning chain. And now we've worked our final little block over here, our little window pane. And I don't like where that's sitting right there, so I'm going to redo this one here. And you can fiddle with yours as well too. So when I placed it in this chain, I didn't really like the way it looked because it didn't look clean. So I'm going to place it in 1 chain over and see if that helps. Okay, that's much better. So let's look at what we have so far. So now we've got the foundations of our next window pane treatment here. So let's go on to our next section. We're going to do our row 4. So we're going to turn our work. We're going to chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then we're going to skip this first double crochet and the chain 2 space here. And we're going to double crochet into this next double here. So with that chain 5, we've essentially worked a double and then we did a chain 2. So now we've got our little window pane opening here. So now we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip 2 chains and then we're going to begin our repeat. So our repeat now is going to be double crochet into this next double, and then we're going to double crochet in each of the 7 after. So we should have a total of 7 double crochets. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and now 7. So now we've worked those 7 double crochets across, and we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip the 2 chains here, and then we're going to double crochet into the top of this double crochet here, chain 2, and then we're going to skip these 2 chains. And since I'm at the end of my fabric, I'm just going to go ahead and work my 7 double crochets. So you can start to see the pattern starting to evolve. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, last one. We're going to work into that turning chain, and we've got 7. So let's look at what we have so far. So in essence, this pattern is just about alternating patches of 7 double crochet clusters with this beautiful little window pane treatment, and then 7 double crochets cluster, and then the beautiful window pane treatment. And you just alternate the placement of those on every other row. So, you know, you start from the left here with your window panes, start up here. So in this next row, let's see what they're going to have us do. You could probably guess what's going to happen here. So we need to place another window treatment. So we need a double crochet, and we need a chain 2. So what do we have to do? Chain 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We're going to skip these first 3 double crochets here, because we need to skip this one. This is where our double crochet is placed into. This one's going to be the skip for our skip 2 chains, right? We need to skip 2 stitches because we've chained 2. Now we're going to double crochet inside of the next here. Then we're going to chain 2. We're going to skip these 2, and then we're going to place a double crochet in this last here. So now we have our foundations of our next window pane right here. So now we need to set up our 7 doubles here. So we've already got the first one here, so this is our first. So we need to put 2 double crochets in this little hole here. So there's 1, 2. So now we have 3 doubles right here. We need to go ahead and place a double in this next double crochet. Now we have 4. So now we need to do 2 more inside of this chain 2 space. 1, 2. Now we have a total of 6 here, and we need to go ahead and place our last one here to finish that out. And then we need to go ahead and create another window pane treatment on top of this one. So what do we do for that? We chain 2, skip 2 stitches, double crochet in the next, chain 2, skip 2 stitches, double crochet in the next. Now we have another window pane treatment. So now we've come up to this one, and we need to make our 7 double crochet clusters. And this one counts as part of that 7 double crochet cluster. So let's go ahead and place 2 in here. So we've got our 2, which brings us to a total of 3 so far. Then we need to place another in here inside of this double crochet. So that leaves us with 4. So now we need to do 3 more. So we need to place 2 in the next chain 2 space, which is getting close to the end. And then we have our last one, because we have 6 now. We need to place our last one in this turning chain. Perfection. And at this point it should have clicked, and you're like, oh my goodness, I can make these in my sleep. I know exactly what to do now. So you're going to repeat rows 2 through 5 for that pattern. So you're just going to keep alternating where you place these window panes. So what I'm going to do is work this fabric up some more. Feel free to rewind back if you're still a little confused as to what stitch placement is. Rewind back to row 2 and then start from there, and it'll guide you all the way through to, you know, work your piece up more. All right, I'm going to work this a little bit more, and I'll see you in just a second. All right, so this is what it looks like once you've worked up a bit of fabric. And this is a lovely stitch pattern. It's very vintage, it's very classic. So I'd love to know what you'd want to make with this. Leave a comment below. I hope you found this video useful, helpful, and it's inspired you to create something beautiful. If it has, don't forget to like, subscribe, and follow me so you can see the next one. All right, bye.